Hey, pizza pals. It's Meltvin, your favorite slice of pepperoni with a passport. Today, Stephanie and Ryan are heading way up north, to the land of volcanoes, waterfalls, puffins, and yes, surprisingly mediocre pizza. One of them explored Iceland by sea, the other by road, and together they're going to help you figure out the best way to see it all. Grab your wool socks. This slice is about to get frosty.
Thanks, Meltvin, and welcome back to One Slice at a Time, the podcast where pizza is life and travel is everything else. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Ryan. We're both travel advisors helping you plan vacations that actually happen instead of sitting on your Pinterest board forever. Before we slice into Iceland this week, did you catch last week's episode? We shared some of the worst travel advice out there and how to avoid falling for it. If you missed it, definitely go back and give it a listen.
Today's episode is all about Iceland, a destination that has been on a lot of people's list lately. It is unique, it's stunning, and it's surprisingly easy to visit, whether you want to take a cruise around the island or drive it yourself.
You've got options. And the
Yep.
fun part here is that we've done it both ways. I'll be talking about my recent cruise around Iceland.
And I'll be sharing a ring road experience that I recently planned for a client. So by the end, you'll know which option might be a better fit for your lifestyle.
Let's start with the cruise. I was on Windstar's Star Pride, and let me tell you, Iceland by cruise is kind of perfect. If you're the type of traveler who likes to unpack once and let someone else do the planning,
That's
this
a lot
is
of
the way
people.
to go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's most of us.
Yes. We hit ports like Akuri up in the north, Itzfjordr, Seyðisfjörður, and of course we began and ended in Reykjavik. At each stop, we had excursions that ranged from whale watching to hiking lava fields. One day we did puffin spotting. Yeah, those little birds are real, and they're hilarious to watch.
They look like little cartoon characters.
Yeah, so some of the pros of cruising Iceland is it's stress-free. Your meals are handled and you get guided tours at every stop. You see a lot without ever worrying about driving through fog or figuring out gas stations in the middle of nowhere. We also got to visit the island of Heimaey, which is not a place you can drive to because it is an island.
I imagine there's a lot of things that you get to miss, like up close, though. Like you get to miss out on some things, right?
Well, here's the thing. If you think, oh, Ryan did a cruise, so he's going to be light on adventure and not doing any of those outdoor stuff that I would expect with my Iceland trip, hold my frickin' slice. I went four-wheeling through a volcano crater. I went whitewater rafting down a glacial river, and I went on a nature walk. That's right, a walk, because as
Ryan
has
doesn't
been,
hike.
yeah, that's right. Stephanie knows it, you know it. We all know, pizza pals. I don't hike.
Okay, Ryan. So these are all good things, but what are the downsides of cruising Iceland?
Well, on my particular cruise, it was definitely not the food. The food was amazing. We did not have fermented shark meat. Uh, I ate like a king on that Windstar ship. The biggest con though is time. The great thing about the cruise is you get to you get a ton of leisure time because you don't have to do the driving to get to the next spot. But since you're not driving, you have limited port time. You dock in a port for 7 or 8 hours, and then you're back on the ship. If you're going to take a cruise, I would definitely encourage you to check those times and choose something where you have at least 7 hours at each stop. But even then, if you're hoping to like hike deep into the highlands or spend a night by a glacier lagoon, you're not doing that on a cruise.
Gotcha. And that is where the Ring Road comes in. The Ring Road is basically Iceland's version of Route 66. It goes all the way around the island. It's about 800 miles. Most people take about a week to 10 days to drive it, but the scenery changes every hour, so you do not get bored at all. So let me break down what that Ring Road trip is going to look like because if you're listening and trying to picture it, it kind of helps to think about it day by day.
Basically, it's one Icelandic road trip equals one extra large pizza. It takes about a week to finish if you pace yourself. Who's eating this large pizza?
right, neither one of us. Like a week to finish an extra large pizza? No way. No
Yeah,
way.
yeah. Um,
It's gonna be gone well before then, but all right.
I think Meltvin must have wrote that line.
Meltvin wrote that segment, I think. So again, with this
Okay.
one, you're going to start in Reykjavik, the capital. You spend a morning there, you wandering the colorful streets, pick up your rental car, and you're going to head out on the Golden Circle. That's where you're going to see Thingvellir National Park, the Geyser Strokur, shooting water way up in the air, and the Gullfoss waterfall, which is massive and powerful and is a nice introduction to Iceland's landscape without being too far away from the city.
Kind of like starting a pizza with the crust. Simple, solid, and gets you ready for the toppings to come.
The next day, guys, you're going to head on east. You're going to see two of Iceland's most famous waterfalls. Both are right off of the road. You keep going toward Vik for the black sand beaches. At Reysinferia, picture tower basalt columns, waves crashing into this dark volcanic sand. It is stunning, but it's also a little bit eerie.
Sand beaches. Basically Iceland's version of a burnt crust, but
In a good way.
in a good way.
Yeah, for sure. From Vic, you keep going east and you're going to get to this glacier lagoon. If you have time, you can even like take a boat out among the glaciers. There's these huge icebergs floating in this lagoon. It is just amazing.
Icebergs and the beach. It does sound like Iceland's way of serving cold slices.
Day 4 is a little quieter stretch through the East Fords. This is where you're going to drive winding coastal roads with tiny little fishing villages tucked in among the cliffs. It's less touristy. It honestly feels like you're in a whole other world. Then you head north. You're going to come into this geothermal heaven. Bubbling mud pots, lava fields, craters. You're also going to have Ditafoss nearby. It's one of the most powerful waterfalls in all of Europe. If you're into Game of Thrones, definitely take this trip, guys, because you are going to recognize some of the landscapes here from that show.
Fields on the same day as waterfalls. I see what you're doing. That's like adding fiery hot honey to
Yes.
pepperoni pizza. You know, I like that.
So next up is a Curry. It's Iceland's second largest city, but it still feels very small and charming. From there, you go
Yep.
whale watching in Husavik, which is one of the best spots in the world to whale watch. Next, you head back down the west side of the island. You can stop in places like Borgarnes, or you can detour out to the Seyðisfjörður Peninsula if you have an extra day. Then you're back in Reykjavik. Drop off your car and reward yourself with, you guessed it, a slice of pizza.
Victory slice. Nothing says trip complete like gooey cheese after 800 miles.
Yeah, guys, so that's Ring Road in a nutshell. Each day is going to give you a totally different landscape. Waterfalls one day, glaciers the next, lava fields the day after that. If you're the kind of traveler that wants variety, doesn't mind being behind the wheel, it's honestly one of the best trips you could take.
I tell you right now, I was about ready to scrap this whole episode because of the pronunciations. So let's give Stephanie a round of applause on those
They're bad. They're
pronunciations.
still bad. And I'm from Southern Illinois, guys. I can barely pronounce English words.
I know the ones that I went to because I heard them over and over, but man, some of those ones on the ring road they're just alphabet soup. But on that ring road trip, you got a little bit of everything.
Exactly. The pros, you have that flexibility and that immersion. If you see a random hot spring on the side of the road, you just stop. If you want to chase the northern lights, you can. But you do have to be comfortable with driving in unpredictable conditions because you can hit sudden fog and rain, and that can make the roads quite a bit tricky.
Yeah, and I don't think gas is very cheap either.
Sure, it is not. And the food also adds up, but for some, the freedom is worth it.
Sure, sure. So let's play this out. If you're listening right now and you know you'd rather not deal with rental cars, gas prices, or figuring out road signs in Icelandic, then a cruise is probably your best fit.
And if you're sitting here thinking, no, I want to stop at every single waterfall and find that hidden hot spring I seen on TikTok, then the Ring Road is definitely going to give you that freedom.
If we're talking about budget, it's really interesting. A lot of people assume that the road trip is going to be the cheaper way to go, and that's not always the case. Cruises are upfront but predictable. Road trips, you've got car rentals, hotels, gas, and food, and it adds up super quick.
And families might lean to a cruise for convenience. Couples or solo travelers, well, you might prefer the adventure of the road trip. Either way, you're not wrong. You just have to pick the experience that feels most like your style.
All right, pizza pals. Before these two talk about pizza again, let me jump in. You've heard Ryan's take on cruising and Stephanie's take on road tripping. But here's the thing. You don't have to figure it out alone. That's what they do for a living. Whether you want to sail the fjords or hit the open road, Ryan and Stephanie can plan every detail so you just show up and enjoy the trip. Seriously, why stress when you've got travel agents who actually know what they're talking about? Now, speaking of things they really know about, it's time for the Crusty review.
Okay. I had pizza in Reykjavik. Big surprise, right? I don't remember the name of the place. And I sort of regret my choice because it was meh. The most memorable part, though, is that the pizza shop had a chalkboard sign out front, like one of those like triangular ones, and it said on it, "The worst pizza you'll ever have." And then in small print below that, it said one guy on TripAdvisor.
I get
Now,
you in
the
there
guy on
every
Trip,
time, right?
yeah, yeah, it did kind of
You
call
gotta
you,
try
it got your attention.
it.
The advertisement being the worst pizza. So the guy on TripAdvisor was wrong. I have had worst pizza. This pizza was better than a lot of pizza I've had. But here's the thing. You think Iceland, and I'm sure you're thinking, do they put fermented shark meat on the pizza? I don't know. I didn't see it. Somebody probably does. The secret is if somebody opens a jar of that stuff, the fermented shark meat, you're going to smell it like down the street.
Eh.
But after I got home, I did Google pizza in Reykjavik, and it looks like there are some really terrific options. I chose the worst pizza, and you'll have because my flight was canceled the night before and I was on a time crunch.
Sure.
But that's why you always fly in the day before your cruise.
There you have it, guys. Iceland both ways. Cruise if you want ease and structure, road trip if you want adventure and flexibility.
Either way, you're going to see landscapes that don't even look real, and you'll probably come home with more photos of waterfalls than you know what to do with.
If this episode inspired you, please reach out. We'd love to help you plan your own Iceland trip.
And don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this podcast with a friend who needs a vacation. And if you need a little extra of Ryan and Stephanie, subscribe to the newsletter at extracheese.fun.
Next time on One Slice at a Time, we're talking about the river cruises you never even knew you could do, some in exotic locations and some right here at home. Hey, Ryan, before we go, what's for dinner tonight?
We didn't name this podcast fermented shark meat, so it's definitely going to be pizza.
Have a great day, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, pizza pals, whether you're cruising the fjords or cruising down the ring road, Iceland is one slice you need in your life. Don't forget to subscribe, share, and grab a cheesy helping of our newsletter, Extra Cheese, at extracheese.fun. Until next time, stay saucy.